Double bind.
Double bind.
Double bind.
Double bind.
Double bind.
Right. Gene said something earlier. He said that this is the Wonder Woman we should have gotten, and I'm in 100% agreement. Because I was like, this bitch is kicking ass, and not only that, the fucking Amazons. Oh my God, that chase scene, the bitches are like, you are not getting this box. Pun intended. Oh my God, that shit was dope as hell. Wait.
I like the fact that they extended the fight scene when they were fighting Steppenwolf inside the temple too. I thought that was kind of dope.
So when you said extended, you said that to me via text. Was it supposed to be a shorter cut, or so like?
Did you see the first Justice League movie?
Yeah.
So you didn't see the difference in the scenes?
So I'll be honest with you, movies don't stay in my head too long. I don't remember 100%.
Zach had bowed out of the project, so it was an incomplete film. He had started shooting the film, and then he had to get back out of the project because his daughter committed suicide.
Oh,
and then Josh Whedon took over, and it just was trash. He tried to do what he could. He wanted to start over from scratch, but Warner Brothers was like, we've already given a budget for this movie, make it work. And that's what we got. Which is why everybody hated that movie, because it was crap. But Warner Brothers gave Zach the green light to go ahead and do it after, the fans were demanding justice for Justice League kind of situation. There was a petition on, and that's how he got to do the movie again. And they increased his budget, and he went on to record that 4-hour masterpiece.
Yeah, I'm being honest with you. I really felt sorry for Steppenwolf. It's almost like a son trying his best to please his daddy. Your daddy still ain't give a
He really was. He was trying so hard.
And what's his name?
He was almost there. If they hadn't, revived Superman, he would have won. He would have won.
What's his name? Dagger? What's his name? It starts with a D. His second in command, Apocalypse.
Darkseid?
Yeah.
No, not Darkseid. Excuse me.
No, he's talking about
Desaad. Thank you. Desaad also came off like the kind of uncle that you run through for problems, and he ends up making you feel like shit anyway, aka Twice.
Pretty much.
Desaad was like, you ain't doing good enough.
Yeah, you ain't shit.
Wow. Big wow. I just would see bits and pieces of Justice League, and I was never really impressed. But last night, my brother pressed me, so I said, let's watch. So we sat and watched it. The parts where I was awake, I didn't always know what was going on, but I didn't care. But I was there for it.
You fell asleep? Are you
First
serious?
First of all, Neil was 4 hours. Okay, number one. Number two, and I didn't listen.
Endgame was 3.5 hours.
That's Endgame, baby. That's Endgame. So this is like
we got Marvel versus DC here. Twas, go ahead.
I mean, I gotta be honest.
I was all in, but by the 2-hour mark, I started to kind of like, I was starting to fade a little bit. I'm like, come on now.
Negro, I'm gonna need you to go to take.
I think Justice League.
Good.
I think this movie was better than Endgame.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
That tells me where you're at. That tells me where you're at.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
I know you are.
It was better.
Twice, I would recommend you take an 8-hour nap and then proceed to watch the movie. It sounds like you started watching the movie when you were a bit tired. Nah, that movie kept you engaged.
First of all, you're the one who falls asleep on 1-hour movies. So you can't tell me to fall a little sleepy on a 4-hour epic and put a little woozy halfway through, okay? So you're the least one to talk.
Who's
next? Yes, I went there. And we're going to leave it at that. We're going to skip right on past that.
Well, in my defense, it was not a it wasn't a fantasy sci-fi comic book movie. So, yeah.
First of all, the Superman, whatever that was, that's supposed to be Superman's ship. Okay, look like some bad 70s aquatic disco themed amusement park circus theme park ride going wrong.
It wasn't that bad.
I was like, this is his ship. Yo, it
No,
was
don't
giving
do
me
that. It
like,
wasn't
I
that
don't know,
bad.
like bad 70s like art direction, like studio, like reject, backdrop sets.
You are being dramatic. It was not even close to anything that you're describing. What are you talking about?
The set to his ship. Did you see the walls?
Yo,
Like I don't know, Underworld or Fantasia. Like it was just really bad.
Kuro, did you see the movie Kuro or not?
I didn't see the extended version, and I probably will today. But if they put in some more parts and it makes the movie a little bit more, whatever. Why can't we get a Storm standalone movie? How about that? I'm about to be woke right now.
It's not going to happen. I don't know why people keep talking about that.
There's
Oh
asking.
my God. Okay, I guess it's 2 for 2 right now. 2 DC, 2 Marvel. All right. we'll figure out the next
Well,
movie.
no,
to
but
be the
honestly, like,
tiebreaker,
listen, I watch
whatever
Marvel
comes
and
up
I
next.
watch DC, and listen, first of all, it's fictional. We liked all those superheroes when we were kids, so they do a movie, and hopefully, it doesn't stray too much from the comic book, and it's all right. But yeah, I mean,
At this point, I am a purist, but I will allow for some leniency in terms of stepping away from the original and storylines, because again, for film, it's different.
like X-Men: The Last Stand, I really didn't like that.
Gotcha. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of The Double Bind. If I sound tired, it's because I am. I am your host, Sprinkle, and of course, I've got all my peoples in the house with me right now. Twaz, the ever annoying Twaz.
Really?
Need my right hand. And then, of course, the mouth from the South, Kuru, is back.
Really? That's new information.
Not to offend.
The mouth from the north that ended up in the south.
Does that mean we're not waiting for Kenya? Is that what's happening here?
That is correct. Kenny's going to be late. It's fine. I don't mind being. Twaz, she's not here yet. Relax. But or to step in late. That's fine. But yeah, so Sneed, you and I had a conversation about Jay-Z and his hair. Can you let people know your feelings on that? Since Twitter is going off on it.
Well, yes. Social media was going off on Jay-Z about his choice of hairstyle when he arrived at the Grammys with Beyonce. They arrived late, but they arrived in style apparently.
Black.
But apparently, instead of celebrating, it was split. While they were celebrating Beyonce's historical landmark with her Grammy wins or whatever. Lord Jesus. There was half.
What was that about? What was that all about? What was that like? That little chuckle side eye that we all heard and felt, like out loud. What was that?
I'm just gonna say this. I just remember a time when the Grammys were just honored real talent, and I'm not saying that Beyonce isn't talented. That comment wasn't just necessarily directed at her, but the amount of people, the kind of, I don't know if you want to call them artists or performers or karaoke people, or getting Grammys. It's just like, really? Like, you're lip singing on the Grammys. How is that possible? Like, you don't even sing. Like, you whisper on songs. So how are you getting Grammys? Like,
That's the whole point. What's the whole point?
What's the whole point? I'm lost.
They can't sing. So why would you let them actually try live vocals?
It's the recording artist.
But that's the point. Then you should be getting a Grammy. That's what the Billboard music is for. That's for the People's Choice, the Teen Choice Award, all them other dumbass shows. That's what that is for, not the Grammys. But I digress. So instead of speaking positive about this Black Power couple, and social media was going in on Jay-Z's his hair.
Was it black?
Black people were going in on Jay-Z's hair, talking about, why is he the billionaire? Why is he walking out the house looking like that? Why is his hair like that? What's going on with his hair? Why didn't Beyonce comb his hair?
I cannot wait. I cannot wait till it's my turn to speak on this. But continue.
I was just like, but I took it personally. I don't even know why, because I don't know them. But I took it personally because I'm starting my free form log journey as well. and I have, kind of enjoyed those.
Wait. You're starting your what?
My free form lock journey.
Okay, Kuru, aka for us West Indians, bongo dread.
I know
but
what
the
you're
Americans
talking
call
about.
it.
You said what? Wait a minute. You said boonga?
For our
Boonga
West
dread?
Indian
Is that
listeners,
what you said?
so when you're growing bongo dreads, Americans can it?
No, I said boonga.
Not bongo, bonga. Hey Kenya. No. In the West Indies, what you're calling freeform dreads in the West Indies, bongo, bongo, bongo dreads are just when you let your dreads grow in a free form or free style without kind of like twisting them.
Excuse me.
So we call them bongo dreads. We don't call it.
My bad.
But got it. That was just for our West Indians.
It's not fashion dread.
Exactly.
And I kind of took it personally
Kenya,
because
welcome back.
I've actually endured those kinds of comments from other Black people. Comb his hair, like, you fucking idiot. He has dreads. How is he going to comb his hair?
Right.
Talking about, he's got all this money. There's no reason why he should be looking like that. Why not? I don't understand Black folks sometimes with their ignorance. It's just like, what can't he? To me, that's making a statement. That is, making people who have dreads or bongo, did you say? Bongo? I don't, whatever you said. Bongo, bango,
bongo,
whatever.
bongo.
We I'm an American.
I love Americans. They're like bongo. No, motherfucker. It's not bongo. It's like you walking up into a West Indian restaurant. You're like, can I get a roti? It's a hard tea.
Actually, you know what? I did that at the roti spot, and
Oh
they
my
looked at me
God.
with such disgust.
Exactly.
And I was like, what the fuck? I said, you got a problem? And make sure you put some curry goat and not the curry bones in on my daggone roti. But anyway.
Never piss off a person that's serving your food. You might get some extra.
Let me tell you something. I have learned that, Kenya, actually, because like when I used to go back at them, like I got nothing but bones. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh
I got
my
sauce, potatoes, and bones. What is this?
That's your roti.
Go ahead, Cooper.
So, in regards to what we're talking about, Jay-Z's here, and I'm sure most of us in the professional world have experienced it, we yet again have been so programmed to hate what is naturally us that when somebody sees something that is completely naturally us, that is the free form, pure hair coming out of that man's head, it's a problem. They want us to have waves, or they want us to have a nice low cut, deminimizing who we are.
Mm-hmm.
I guess most of them forgot about Samson in the Bible, but I guess that's exactly what they want us to be. They want us to be the new form version of Samson, weak and not who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And we still, to this day, like we don't complain about them coming up on screen with eczema, but we talk about us. I would tell the ones of the self-hating Negroes that have the audacity to talk about that man's hair. First of all, how much did you clear this year? How much did you make this year? You might want to take several seats back and shut the hell up.
You know what? No, we're not going to do that, Kuru, simply because this is
No, yes, we are. No, yes, we are. Oh, yes, the hell we are.
As they used to.
We are.
I mean, it's facts. It's facts, though. It's facts.
The fact of the matter is that man, he's built an empire. He's doing what he has to do. He's being himself. And what's the problem? Stop worrying about what he's doing and get your bread up. Because trust me, he could cut it off. He could go along. That man is good. He doesn't have to wake up and pay nobody.
Facts. I give it to Kuru. Facts.
Thank
And worry about your dry ass weave, your tired ass lace front, your little fuzzy ass braid.
Whoa.
Wow.
We have Kenya on here. You can't come for the women like that.
We're not gonna put down somebody else. Well, I would say I love that he is rocking his hair any way that he friggin' wants to, because he's a boss. That's his expression. That's freedom. Nobody can tell him how to look or how to be. He is being his authentic self, and I rocks with that. He don't have to answer to nobody. Well, maybe he has to answer to his wife.
And clearly she don't got a problem with it, so mind your business.
She's probably grabbing them free locks and pulling them right between.
Whoa. Wasn't
I don't know if
expecting
you're
that.
doing that now.
Twaz, let me ask you something real quick. So Twaz,
Yes,
you
I'm
had
all
dreads
ears.
when you were younger, right?
I had like a twist. I would say twigs here started to form. They started to lock up a bit. Okay.
They tried to lock
Yeah.
it because I think I remember seeing a couple of pictures. So what made you end up? Did you just get bored, or did you find that like that hairstyle was affecting how people saw you or whatnot?
Well,
Or
you
just
know
got bored
what?
and
It
decided
was
to change?
That's an interesting question, and I think you're probably the first person to ever ask me that. And to be honest with you, it was kind of a moment where anybody ever take too many like mushrooms or something and just do something sporadically.
Uh,
and I had a
There is a
spiritual moment where I
cricket
said,
moment. That's a cricket moment.
it was listen. I took some hallucinogens, and it was like one of those crazy college nights, and something told me to just cut them off, and I just cut them off that night.
So you had a Las Vegas wedding moment.
I had a Las Vegas wedding moment to cut them off, and once I cut them off, I realized what I had did, and was like, oh my god, I'm not worthy anyway, and I really felt spiritually different once I cut them off, and said, wow, what's it going to take to grow those back? And I haven't had the energy to grow them back since. But it was very much like, wow, once I cut them off, it was really like I felt different. Like I felt like I lost a piece of me. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get that back. Yeah.
Do you still have the hair?
No.
Twaz?
I let it go. I let it go. And even cutting it off, even though it's the small ones I had, even cutting those off, I was like, wow, that really felt like a loss. You know, it really felt like a piece of me left. So I can only imagine people who have invested years and years and, decades with them, what that feels like, their identity cutting them off. It's really more than it's a spiritual thing.
I can definitely say wearing different hairstyles and different textures, you definitely get a different response from different people. Prime example, this particular show I've been working on for the longest, I've always worn my hair either in braids or in its natural state. This season, I decided to wear a lace front straight wig. Since I've put the wig on, I've been getting a whole bunch of features, more camera time. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me either. I'm not surprised by that
in
at
other
all.
words, like the European style hair.
What did they say in Good Hair? Who said it? They said that when you relax the hair, it makes everybody relax.
It's true. It is true. I've gotten fired for wearing my hair natural. So, it's a real thing.
That's crazy. I've actually, Kenya, you'll remember this because I think out of everyone here, you know me the longest. When I had my afro, I used to work as a doorman in the day. That was my daytime job. And I worked at the front desk, obviously, one of those, not so much standing at the door, but behind the desk kind of doorman. And that was it when I was modeling, in the height of modeling for me, commercial modeling, and I was making a good bit of money at the time because I was booking a lot based on that big ass Maxwell style afro I had. And I remember someone came up to me one day and they were like, why don't you just comb your hair, do something with it, cut it? That doesn't look right. And this is a woman.
What color
I didn't
was
say
she?
anything.
You already
exactly.
know.
You know why I'm pausing, right? Yeah, you already know. It was a Black woman who worked in the White House. Funny enough, we connected outside of the hair scenario. She was cool. But I remember 2 days later, my boss, who never mentioned anything to me prior to that, tells me I should do something with that hair. So she probably went directly to him. And so, you know how this coming from the Caribbean. And, for those of us who come from working class families, my parents were like, well, my mom primarily was just like, keep your job. Your job is the most important thing. And so I went and cut my hair. And my bookings probably dropped about maybe 55%. That's how much less work I was booking. Because,
Is that Condoleezza Rice who told you that?
Nah, sure, definitely not. This lady was short and fat. But long story short, I remember just thinking, God damn, my own people actually, and even sitting at the desk post haircut, the Caucasian people that lived in the building would be like, what happened? Your hair was so cool. Oh my God, we loved your hair. Why'd you cut it? And it felt really awkward and kind of strange knowing that my own people felt how my natural state was somehow lessening either me as an individual.
The white ones,
Yeah, good.
The white ones just wanted to touch it, and the black ones were a bunch of coons. So yeah.
I mean, it's true though. I mean, it's sometimes it's your own people before it's the others.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I mean, I do regret that in some ways.
You would have had to cut. You would have had to cut the hair anyway. You know what I mean? The hair was going through a moment.
But just not at the height of.
You ain't one of those performers that hold on to hair a little too long. Was like, yeah, he's
no. I wasn't gonna hold on to that shit like at 35. No, but what I'm saying is, at the height of like my career as a model, that is what I should have kept because that was.
You wanted to that was the look that was in at the time.
You eventually had to cut that hair anyway.
Yeah, man. So that lady owes me some reparations. Anyway, well, yeah, it's funny. It's funny that Jay-Z's responses are coming primarily from Black people. Shit, I'm dropping pens and all sorts of things. Yeah.
Actually, it's surprising, but it wasn't. To me, it's not surprising because unfortunately, still working in the corporate world that I've worked in and in the governmental world I'm working, coonism is definitely on the rise. And it is ridiculous. And then when you speak out on it, it's funny how there's so many more woke people. And then like we're really becoming divisive in our own community because you're getting ultra woke and then you're getting the ultra coons. And it's just at some point we're gonna have to find a middle ground.
It's divide and conquer. It's divide and conquer. So we're gonna have to find a way to kind of consolidate, all of our coon factor, if you will. That's a terrible book. I should write that down.
The reason I'm laughing, Chwaz, before you continue, it's funny you, myself, and Sneed were talking about superheroes. Imagine a black supervillain.
Oh my God, what would his name be? Captain Coon. And Captain Coon would be his code
Super
name.
Coon?
Captain Coon.
And his wife, Candace Owens.
Well, that's the thing. He's in many different colors, and that's the thing. It's a costume that anybody can put on. And it's sold and it's exported. It's America's #1 export. Right. You know what I mean? It's put out every day. So it's not something we should I don't know necessarily take offense to because it's something that is not. It's beyond us.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Whoa! What do you mean? Something we shouldn't take offense to? What does that mean?
It is. I don't think it's beyond us.
It's a concept that's beyond us. It's this thing that's taken on a life of its own. It's like,
but how is it beyond us? That is related directly to us.
Right. How is it beyond us? I'm confused.
It's almost like, you said like superhero. It's like, superheroes. It's almost like Spider-Man. How Spider-Man is beyond Marvel. He's his own thing. He exists on several different universes, on several different planes, have many different storylines. And is a costume that anybody can now put on and pretend to be a part of that. And pay their money, and now they're Spider-Man. Whether it's through a video game, whether it's buying a costume.
So you're correlating fictional characters.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Bridge that gap. Because, what the hell are you talking about?
Do you mean the coon?
Bridge that gap, please. That makes no sense.
Hey, are you referencing being a coon, Twas?
Everybody can be it. The coon part. The coon factor. Captain Coon. Is that what we're talking about? Captain Coon. I
don't know.
And his Sambos.
You were trying to make some sort of duality or something, some kind of point that kind of got lost.
It's not existent. It's not existent because a character like Spider-Man is completely fictional, whereas our actual natural state of being is part of reality and dealing with the pressures of society to not present ourselves as our natural selves. That indeed, I don't see the correlation.
Is Spider-Man totally fictional? You don't think there's some spy?
Right. That's how you taking control of your reality versus say Spider-Man, which really truly doesn't exist. Twas. Like I don't get the connection.
But I think as soon as I quit corporate America, I got rid of my weave and I went natural.
Like they don't even, to be truthfully honest with you, they don't even want you growing beards. They don't even want you having facial hair in corporate America.
Because it represents strength.
Because
when I first started growing my beard at my old job, they were always talking about, you need to trim that. It's getting a little unruly. I said, no, the hell it's not. I get my beard trimmed every 2 weeks. My hair doesn't grow that fast. So,
and that's the perfect segue. That's why I created my own brand, Buttered by Kenya. You can go to butteredbykenya.com and I can look like whatever I want because I have my own and I don't have to answer to anybody else in reference to my appearance.
So plug in, beautiful plug. No, I am all for the shameless plug, especially when it comes to supporting a Black business. So Kenya, can you give that to our listeners one more time, your website?
The website is butteredbykenya.com. That's BUTTEREDBYKENYA.com.
Gotcha. So Sneed, I'm gonna say this when it comes to beards, though. Coming from marketing, and Kenya can agree. She's not a man, but I'm sure she's heard this. So in society, in Western society, at least in American society, beards are seen as distrustful. So a lot of it's something deeply ingrained within this culture here on this side of the planet, the Western culture, the American culture. Most places don't like a beard on a man because there's something distrustful about that. Because that's one thing I've heard a lot when I just started working in promotions, events, and marketing. They would discourage you from growing a beard. So they wanted you to be as approachable as possible. And there's something.
Well, it had some ugly features. Because when some guys cut their beards off, you're like, whoa, I take my number back.
Damn.
Well, yeah. So what I'm saying is that it could be related to that as well. I might be wrong, but it just made me think of that scenario.
I don't know. I just got it from both ends. I got it from when I was growing my beard because I always had like the waves and the Caesar and just the goatee. And when I decided to do something different as I'm getting older, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let it go. Started growing a beard. I had a problem with that. Before I get started, my locks. I had like a little a curly, like the sponge curl afro, and I got a shape up. Pretty, I kept it tight, presentable, whatever. They had issues with that. So I'm just like, it was never a problem until I stepped outside of what they thought I should look like, or I guess what they were comfortable looking at or dealing with. I don't know. But it was just like, nah, I'm good.
I haven't noticed. You just brought it to my attention. I noticed that I haven't seen too many guys with beards doing promos, unless they're like managers or like drivers.
Yeah, exactly. So when there's some sort of mistrust within this culture that they associate with beards. So when you think terrorist, right? What's the first picture that comes to mind?
Proud Boys.
Right. Exactly.
You say Proud Boys?
well, now it is. But you know what I'm saying? I think you guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? But you get what I'm saying. Like pre-Proud Boys period, I think most of us would have thought of someone like Middle Eastern with a beard and a head wrap or turban, right? So I think, I might be wrong, but I think, again, within this culture, it's just there's some sort of correlation.
When beards used to represent power, and especially for us, remember, they don't want us to see us having any kind of strength or power. They want to see us effeminate or weak. I mean, not to digress away from what we were talking about, but if you look at some of the movies back in the 80s, which I brought to somebody the other day, we were always mostly in the supporting roles. And there are two movies that bother the hell out of me now that I think about it. One, Revenge of the Nerds. Two, Mannequin. And if you guys know those movies, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I haven't seen Mannequin in years. Now I have to go and look at it.
Yeah, because to be honest, I don't remember either of them. I never saw Mannequin, and I don't remember.
I get the Revenge of the
Nerds either.
Problem we could talk about, but point out the Mannequin. And you should probably talk about both of them. Can you start with Mannequin?
Mannequin was the movie where a mannequin came to life when only one person could see him, and the second person in the movie who basically, quote unquote, almost kind of stole the show but didn't, was a character named Hollywood, and he was that dude from Designing Women. And he was extremely flamboyant, and he was very flamboyant and very effeminate, and that's the way. But when we look at a lot of 80s movies, we are really stereotyped more so than we could even begin to imagine. And all of this falls back into Jay-Z's here as well. They want to put you in a pocket in a certain narrative, but they don't realize how dangerous our own black people it is when we come to attack Jay-Z, because guess what? If we're attacking Jay-Z, a billionaire with hair like that, what's to say for the cop who's making 40 grand a year who hates us when they see that hair? Well, if his own people hate him and are afraid of him and don't like the way he looks, then now I don't know. I'm going to shoot this man unnecessarily just because he's a threat, because his own people see him as a threat. Why shouldn't I? That's why we shouldn't do that crap.
Yeah.
Facts.
But you know what? I never even thought about it like that. I never even thought about it in that way. That's scary and disturbing.
Right, and that's why I love that he is being who he is authentically. He's like, you know what? This bothers them, so I'm going to wear my hair like this because I want to and I can afford to.
Isn't it? And that's the way I think. That's when I hear people doing it, I get feel like, please shut up. Yeah, there's so many more things that we could be doing positively, constructively to help each other, but you're tearing down Jay-Z, one of the few black billionaires that we do have, and you're talking about a 0.0001 of our community, and you're tearing him down. And if you're tearing, like I said, if you're tearing him down, you make it easier for white people and other races to do so. That's why when people like Candace Owens speak, I really wish I could transport to where she is and put her head in a bucket of water until she stops struggling. You threaten every word that she says justifies and enables white people to kill us. And I would love to sit there and tell her that you're endangering me. But what she's going to realize now that she's had a baby, that even though you had it with a white man, is going to have a drop of blackness in that baby. Yep. Please keep that same energy, because the very rhetoric that you're spitting out every damn day just to get likes and just to get promotions and stuff like that on these god awful shows is going to come back to haunt you. And I hope it was worth it.
I'm glad you brought that home. I'm glad you brought that home.
Thank you for tuning in. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and now Clubhouse, as well as all major streaming platforms. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. And we'd love to hear from you, so leave us a comment.